My sisters and brothers, Prophet Ayyub Alaiyhis Salaam is one of the most inspiring figures when it comes to unwavering faith in the face of extreme trials. Imagine a man who was blessed with everything: great health, abundant wealth, a loving family, and a respected status in his community. He was truly prosperous in every way. But then Allah tested him with the most severe hardships. His health deteriorated until he was covered with painful sores all over his body. One by one, he lost his wealth and possessions. Even the people closest to him turned away. Yet despite these overwhelming losses, Prophet Ayyub Alaiyhis Salaam never lost his faith or hope in Allah. This is what makes his story so powerful and timeless. What truly sets Prophet Ayyub Alaiyhis Salaam apart is not just the suffering he endured, but the way he responded to it. Instead of falling into despair, blaming others, or questioning the mercy of Allah, he remained patient and humble. He understood that his trials were not a punishment, but a test from his Creator. His heart stayed connected to Allah and his trust never wavered. He knew that no matter how difficult the situation seemed, Allah was always in control, and He is the most merciful. Many of us might find it hard to imagine having such patience. When we face difficulties, it's natural to feel anger, sadness, or frustration. But Prophet Ayyub Salam example teaches us a deeper lesson. That true faith means holding on to hope and trust even when everything seems lost. His unwavering belief shows us that patience is not passive waiting. It is an active state of reliance on Allah's wisdom and timing. Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam story also reminds us that hardships do not define us. They are part of life's test to purify our souls and increase our closeness to Allah. Despite losing his health and wealth, Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam faith made him spiritually richer than ever before. His unwavering faith became a shining light for generations to come, teaching us that our connection to Allah can never be broken no matter what happens in this world. Even in the darkest moments, Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam turned to prayer and remained hopeful for a relief. His constant dua showed his deep relationship with Allah. He never gave up asking for mercy and healing, which reminds us how important it is to keep turning back to Allah no matter how hard the test. The story of Ayyub alayhi salam inspires us today to face our own challenges with patience and trust. Whether it is illness, loss, or any form of difficulty, we can learn from Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam example that faith can give us strength beyond what we think is possible. His life is a lesson that no matter how tough the trials, we must hold on to our belief that Allah's mercy is near and relief will come in His perfect time. It is a living example meant for every one of us, guiding us to develop unshakable faith even when life seems unbearable. His patience was not just about enduring suffering. It was about keeping his heart connected to Allah in every moment. This is the true meaning of unwavering faith in the face of extreme trials. When we talk about patience, especially in the context of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam, it's important to understand that patience or sabr is much more than just quietly enduring hardship. It's a deep, active quality that transforms the way we face life's challenges. Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam life perfectly illustrates this profound meaning of patience, showing us that it is not simply about waiting for pain to pass, but about maintaining trust, faith, and hope even in the most difficult circumstances. Many people think of patience as something passive, just bearing pain or suffering until it ends. But the story of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam teaches us that true patience is an inner strength. It is the ability to remain steady and firm in one's heart and mind, to stay connected to Allah, and to continue doing good despite the trials that come our way. Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam did not lose his spirit or complain endlessly. Instead, he accepted his situation with humility and dignity, always turning back to Allah with gratitude and submission. Patience also means controlling our emotions and responses. When we suffer, it's natural to feel anger, sadness, or frustration, but Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam example shows us the power of calmness and reliance on Allah's wisdom. He didn't let his pain consume him or break his relationship with his Lord. This is the essence of sabr. It is about mastering ourselves, our feelings, and our reactions to life's tests. Another important aspect of patience in Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam story is perseverance. His hardship was not short-lived. For many years, he remained in a state of suffering without giving up hope. Patience is not about temporary endurance. It is a sustained commitment to faith and trust, even when relief seems far away. This perseverance is what elevates patience from a simple act to a noble virtue. We also learn that patience is closely tied to gratitude. Despite losing everything, Prophet Ayyub Alaiyhis Salaam never stopped thanking Allah for the blessings he once had and for the mercy that was still present. This gratitude is a key part of patience because it shifts our focus from what we have lost to what remains, especially our connection to Allah and our inner strength. The story of Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam reminds us that patience is rewarded. It is not an empty struggle. It brings us closer to Allah, purifies our soul, and prepares us for the mercy and blessings that follow. Through patience, Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam faith was tested and strengthened, and eventually he was rewarded with restored health, wealth, and family. This shows us that patience is not just about enduring hardship, but about trusting that Allah's plan is always perfect. When we reflect on the life of Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam, one of the most important lessons is his complete trust in Allah's wisdom, especially during times of hardship. It's easy to say we trust Allah when everything is going well, but real trust is tested when life brings suffering, loss, or pain. Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam story teaches us that understanding and accepting Allah's wisdom is key to enduring trials with patience and faith. Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam faced hardships that no one could easily bear: loss of health, wealth, family, and social standing. Yet he never allowed these trials to shake his belief that Allah's plan was just and wise. This kind of trust means accepting that sometimes we may not understand the reason behind our difficulties. Allah's wisdom is beyond human comprehension, and He tests His servants to purify them, elevate their status, and bring them closer to Him. Many times when we face challenges, our first reaction is to question, why me? Why now? These questions are natural. But Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam example shows us a different approach. Instead of demanding answers, he submitted humbly and peacefully to Allah's will. He accepted that trials are part of life, and that Allah's knowledge and wisdom surpass ours. This acceptance is not weakness, but a profound strength that comes from deep faith. Trusting Allah's wisdom also means believing that every hardship carries a hidden blessing. Sometimes the blessing is not immediate or visible to us, but it exists. Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam patience and trust were rewarded, not only by healing and restoration, but also by spiritual elevation. His story reminds us that trials are opportunities for growth. They teach us empathy, humility, and reliance on Allah. This trust is closely connected to the idea that nothing happens without a divine purpose. Allah is the most merciful and most wise, and He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. Ayyub's life is a clear demonstration that even when the path is difficult, it is part of a greater plan designed for our benefit. By embracing this truth, we can face hardships with courage rather than despair. Another beautiful aspect of Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam trust is constant communication with Allah through dua, supplication. Despite all his pain, he never stopped praying and asking Allah for mercy and relief. This shows that trusting Allah's wisdom does not mean passivity. It means actively turning to Him, seeking His help, and believing that He hears every prayer. It is a dynamic relationship built on faith and hope. In our own lives, we often encounter moments when we feel overwhelmed and confused by our difficulties. The example of Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam teaches us that placing our trust fully in Allah's wisdom is the best way to navigate these moments. It frees us from despair and gives us a firm foundation to stand on. When we look closely at the life of Prophet Ayyub alayhis salam, one of the most striking things is his constant turning to Allah through prayer and supplication during his suffering. In moments of extreme hardship, it is natural for people to feel abandoned or hopeless. But Prophet Ayyub's alayhis salam story shows us that the opposite can be true. Instead of withdrawing from Allah, he drew closer to Him with sincere dua, demonstrating how prayer can become a source of immense strength and comfort. Prayer or salah and supplication or dua are not just rituals or formalities. They are a direct connection between a servant and their Creator. When everything else falls away, when health fades and possessions are lost, prayer remains. Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam teaches us that turning to Allah through constant remembrance and heartfelt dua can be the anchor that keeps a person steady amid the storm. This deep connection through prayer gives us hope and courage when we feel weakest. Imagine being in a situation where your body aches, your wealth is gone, and your loved ones have left you. Most people would feel abandoned, but Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam chose to speak to Allah with humility and persistence. His du'as were full of trust and hope. He didn't just ask for relief. He asked for mercy, for forgiveness, and for strength to endure. This shows us the true power of prayer. It is not just about asking, but about opening our hearts and acknowledging that Allah is always near, always listening. Prayer also serves as a reminder that we are not alone. In the darkest moments, it can feel like no one understands our pain, but when we raise our hands in dua, we connect with the one who created us and knows everything about us. This awareness itself brings peace. Prophet Ayyub's salam example encourages us to keep praying even when answers seem delayed or when relief doesn't come immediately. Persistence in prayer is an act of faith and patience. Moreover, prayer transforms the heart. It softens anger, heals despair, and increases gratitude. Through his constant prayers, Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam maintained hope and kept his heart pure despite his suffering. This spiritual strength is what eventually brought him relief and blessings from Allah. His story teaches us that prayer is not just a means to an end, but a way to build a resilient spirit. In our own struggles, we might feel helpless or unsure of what to say in dua. Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam life reminds us that sincerity is what matters most. The language of the heart, spoken with humility and trust, reaches Allah more than any perfect words. We should never underestimate the power of turning back to Allah in prayer during tough times. The story of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam is not just a tale from the past. It is a powerful source of inspiration that speaks directly to the challenges we face today. In a world full of uncertainties, pressures, and hardships, his example of patience offers guidance on how we can navigate our own difficulties with faith and resilience. Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam life shows us that no matter how tough our situation may seem, patience combined with trust in Allah can help us overcome and grow stronger. One of the most important lessons from Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam story is that patience is relevant to every type of challenge, whether physical, emotional, financial, or social. Today, many people struggle with health problems, loss of loved ones, financial difficulties, or feelings of isolation. Sometimes it feels like the world is against us, and we don't know how to carry on. But when we remember Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam, we see a man who lost almost everything but never lost hope or faith. His example encourages us not to give up, but to hold on and keep trusting Allah's plan. Another inspiring point is that patience does not mean we ignore our problems or pretend they don't exist. Instead, it means facing them with courage and a positive attitude. Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam did not hide from his pain or become bitter. He accepted his trials with grace and continued to pray and seek Allah's mercy. This teaches us that patience involves action. It means continuing to try, to pray, and to do what is right even when the path is difficult. The story of Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam also shows us the importance of perspective. When we are caught up in our problems, it is easy to forget that life's hardships are temporary. Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam patience was rooted in his belief that his suffering was a test and that relief would come. This hopeful perspective can transform how we deal with our own difficulties. It reminds us that our trials do not define us, our response to them does. In today's fast-paced world, many people struggle with impatience. We want quick results, instant solutions, and immediate relief. But Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam example teaches us the value of perseverance and long-term trust. Sometimes the hardest tests require the deepest patience, and through this, our character is built and our faith strengthened. In practical terms, Prophet Ayyub's alayhi salam story encourages us to develop habits that support patience, regular prayer, remembrance of Allah, seeking support from our community, and maintaining a hopeful outlook. It also reminds us to be kind to ourselves during hardships and to remember that Allah's mercy is always near. One of the most powerful and comforting lessons from the story of Prophet Ayyub, Alaiyhis Salaam, is the certainty that Allah's mercy and reward await those who remain patient through their trials. Patience is not an endless hardship without purpose. It is a noble journey that Allah honors in ways beyond our imagination. Prophet Ayyub's Alaiyhis life beautifully illustrates that no matter how severe the test, those who persevere with sincere faith will ultimately be blessed by Allah's infinite mercy. Prophet Ayyub endured pain and loss that few can comprehend. His suffering was immense. He lost his health, his wealth, and even the company of his loved ones. Yet he never lost his connection to Allah or his trust in divine wisdom. Through every moment of hardship, he held firmly to patience, not out of weakness, but from a deep, unwavering belief that Allah sees all and rewards all. This promise of reward is emphasized throughout the Quran and the teachings of Islam. Those who are patient will be granted ease, blessings, and a special place in the sight of Allah. Prophet Ayyub's Alaiyhis story is the perfect example of this truth. After many years of trial, Allah responded to his prayers and restored his health, doubled his wealth, and blessed him with a loving family once again. This restoration was not merely a return to his former life, but a divine reward that reflected the immense patience and faith he displayed. What makes this even more remarkable is the fact that Allah's mercy often comes at the perfect time, not necessarily when we expect it, but when it is best for us. This teaches us to be patient not just in suffering, but also in waiting for relief. Sometimes we may feel discouraged because our prayers seem unanswered or because the relief takes longer than we hoped. But Prophet Ayyub's Alaiyhis story reminds us that Allah's timing is always perfect and the reward for patience is worth the wait. Moreover, the reward for patience is not limited to material or physical blessings. It is also a spiritual elevation, a purification of the heart, and a strengthening of faith that can never be taken away. Prophet Ayyub's patience transformed his entire being, making him a beacon of faith and resilience for generations to come. His story teaches us that patience builds character, brings us closer to Allah, and earns us a permanent place of honor. In our own lives, when we face hardship, it's easy to forget that patience is a path to immense reward. We may become tired or lose hope, but remembering Ayyub's Alaiyhis example encourages us to persevere. It reassures us that Allah sees every tear, hears every prayer, and will never abandon those who remain steadfast. The story of Prophet Ayyub is a living proof that no trial is wasted when faced with faith and perseverance. For those who hold on to patience, the reward will be beyond what they imagine. A mercy so great it transforms suffering into a source of blessing and a legacy of hope.